What is an entrepreneur? This is a question I get asked a lot, and it's a topic that gets circulated around. And that's what I'll be talking about quickly today. But just quickly, this is the first video in a series of videos about a day in the life of an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since I can remember, since I was 17, 18. There is a certain mindset. There's a certain behavior. There's a certain way that entrepreneurs think and that entrepreneurs act. And so what I quickly want to talk about today is, what does it actually mean to be an entrepreneur? Yeah. So let's start with, first of all, what is an entrepreneur? In my opinion, an entrepreneur is somebody who solves a problem for somebody else, charges them an amount of money for that, and it costs them less to provide that value or to solve the problem than they charge for it, right? And the difference between how much somebody pays and how much it costs you, that's the margin, yeah? That's the profit. And so an entrepreneur is somebody who solves problems for people and who makes a profit from solving those problems. The more people that you can help and the more profit that you can make, the bigger your business. That's the summary of entrepreneur. That's a summary of pretty much every business, right? It's looking for opportunities to solve problems and then solving them for an amount of money that is less than how much is being sold. Pretty simple, right? And if you look at pretty much every single business out there, that's what it is. Now, the difference between an entrepreneur who's starting out and a seasoned entrepreneur is a seasoned entrepreneur has built the skills required to do that thing, because entrepreneurship, what's so hard about entrepreneurship is that you need to learn pretty much every single skill across business before the business becomes large enough to be able to hire those people. That's the hard part. Maybe sometimes you're one of the rare people who get funding, and the funding comes from a company or a VC fund, equity firm or whatever, that can support you in it. But for most of us entrepreneurs who are building something starting from nothing, and that's really entrepreneurship. Yeah? So entrepreneurship is really creating something out of thin air, creating something out of nothing, right? And most entrepreneurs, in fact, some of the largest entrepreneurs or some of the most successful entrepreneurs in history have started with nothing. And for me, that's how I started, right? So I was always thinking to myself, because I always wanted to make money, and I started with nothing. I came from a good family or whatever, but they didn't have a lot of money. And I wanted money, right? And this was back in the day before the internet, because I'm a little bit older now. So I thought, oh, well, seems that people are making money from the stock market, so maybe I should invest in stocks. And so I go into stocks and options and different things. But you really needed to have money to create money, and you really needed to have some skills in investing. And that was a whole different pathway as well. So I started asking myself, well, how do people who start with nothing actually create something? And that's in business. Yeah. And so business is a very creative pursuit because there are unlimited options. And an entrepreneur is someone who starts a business and who grows a business themselves, right? And that's the biggest part of it, right? Now, what is the mindset of an entrepreneur? The mindset of an entrepreneur is looking for things that other people have missed, is going outside of the status quo, is not being happy with how things are, and is looking for ways to create value to make money, right? You know, I think most entrepreneurs, and I don't care who you talk to about, kind of the reason that they started their business, but most entrepreneurs start their business because they want to make money, right? And maybe they have an idea on how they can make money. And then maybe later they'll tell you, well, I started it to change the world, or to change this, or to change that. And that's probably a true statement at the point that they're talking. But most people who start to make money, right? And so that's at the core. And so making money is very, very hard. And so the mindset of that is that an entrepreneur, I'd say that an entrepreneur can't help but to be an entrepreneur, right? The status quo, the way things are done, the 9 to 5, the trying to do as little as possible to get through the day. That's not the mindset of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur loves to learn things that are going to help them create success, right? And so this kind of self-learning thing, it's a thing. The other thing is the initiative, this self-initiative, this self-drive. Entrepreneurs, they don't wait to be told or to be asked to do something. They just go out and they just try to do things, right? Now, that's the next part. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. And so entrepreneurship is full of mistakes, right? Now, you need to be really good at making mistakes strategically. So small mistakes extremely fast and a lot of action, right? And that's the third one. So action. You need to take massive action across a day, across a week, across a month, yeah? Every single minute of every single day, you need to be doing something. Now, obviously, take time off, kind of here and there, exercise and so on. I mean, for me, I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, I do some thinking time, and then I'm working pretty much all the time. I might stop for food. I might stop to have a conversation just with a friend or to go out just for dinner and things like that. But if I'm not doing that, I'm working. Why? Because it's not work. I think this is the biggest thing. Everyone thinks that it's work. It's not work, right? I can't help but to do these things, right? For me, the work is not doing it. The amount of effort for me to sit there and do nothing and watch something on TV is huge. Like I get anxiety. I feel like I should be doing something, but also it's like the waste of time that it is. And this is the next part of being an entrepreneur. You have big goals, you have a lot of ambition, and you have an internal drive that keeps pulling you along, right? Or pushing you along, however you want to think about it, right? Like you have this general mode of action, right? And I mean, for all the entrepreneurs I speak with and all the entrepreneurs I hire, because I like hiring entrepreneurs for all these reasons, that's what they all have in common. Now, I'm not sure if it can be taught or if someone kind of has it as part of kind of how they are. It doesn't actually matter, right? The thing that matters is kind of what you do, right? And fast action in the face of uncertainty, in the face of chaos, in the face of the unknown, with lots of failure and continuing to go through that failure, that's entrepreneurship, right? And then the final part is the size of how much success that an entrepreneur is going to have. So for example, how big is their business going to get? Or how many people are they going to solve? Is that person's ability to solve problems? And so the bigger the problem, the bigger the success. But the bigger the problem, the more stress there is, the more people there is. And so the final part of this is your ability to handle stress is going to be directly correlated to how much success that you have. Because as the problems get larger, the stress becomes higher because the stakes are higher. And mistakes, the larger a company becomes, very costly. They can take years to recover from, and they're extremely stressful in the moment. And so that is a real thing, right? And so what is an entrepreneur? It's someone who creates value and they sell it for more than it costs them to produce it. And then how far can they scale that? I can sell to one person. Can I sell to 5? Can I sell to 10? Can I sell to 1,000? Can I sell to 50,000? Can I sell to 100,000? The reason that Facebook is worth so much, and its customers are actually the advertisers, but the reason that it's worth so much is because it gives value. It produces value for that many people, right? And so that's where it's at. So this is the first episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to come along the journey, because I'm going to be posting as much as I can. It could be every day. It could be a couple of times a day. It could be a few times a week. It's as the inspiration comes. I will try to post as often as possible, and it will be the journey of how I'm going through things because, so we're investing a lot right now into AI and workflows and agentic systems and things like that. But also at the same time, that's an overlay across all the businesses and all the marketing that we do, right? And so I'll be sharing everything I am kind of going through. I'll be sharing key insights. I'll be sharing key challenges, and I'll be sharing how I think about it, right? Because I've been an entrepreneur for, what am I now? Wow, almost 30 years, right? So being an entrepreneur for, can't even do, 30 years. Wow, that makes me feel old, right? But I've gone through stuff. I've come out of it. I've gone through more stuff. It's a continual journey, and I'll be sharing that journey. So hit the like button, subscribe. And so as I share, it pops up in your feed. Thanks. Talk to you soon.